Hello everyone, and welcome back to Rungta IAS Academy for another high-yield explainer. Today, we're diving into a really critical issue, one that overlaps heavily across your syllabus. We're looking at the major lacunae in reporting industrial accidents. This is quite frankly absolute prime material for General Studies Paper 2, specifically Governance and Statutory Bodies, and your GS Paper 3, covering Economy and Disaster Management.
Absolutely. Great to be here with you all. Look, as future administrators, you literally cannot look at industrial accidents as just isolated unfortunate tragedies. You've got to dig deeper. You need to analyze the systemic governance gaps that allow them to happen again and again. Today's breakdown is going to show you exactly where the system is failing, and more importantly, it'll give you highly structured points for your mains answers.
Right, so let's establish the sheer gravity of today's case study with a very tragic number, 9. That is the death toll from the explosion at the Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited, the Visakhapatnam Steel Plant, commonly known as RINL VSP, which happened back on June 8th. It's a very grim reminder of exactly why we're studying this.
It really is incredibly tragic. And as devastating as this loss of life is, for a serious UPSC aspirant, an incident like this has to immediately trigger an analytical mindset. We have to look past the immediate event itself. We have to examine the administrative machinery, or, as we'll see, the severe lack thereof that surrounds it.
Now, moving from the news to actual analysis, after an incident like the RINL VSP explosion, what do we usually see? Standard bureaucratic responses, right? Ex gratia payments for the bereaved families, maybe the immediate constitution of an expert committee for a probe.
Exactly. But you have to remember, those are purely reactive measures. What's really interesting here, and what is honestly your real mains fodder, is the institutional apathy that drives these recurring tragedies. India, unfortunately, appears to be severely lagging in strengthening the actual institutional mechanisms we need to prevent these accidents in the very first place.
So let's talk about those institutions. This brings us to a crucial statutory body you absolutely must know for GS Paper 2. DGFASLI. That's the Directorate General Factory Advice Service and Labor Institutes. And it is absolutely essential to note the recent legislative update here. Under the Occupational Safety, Health, and Working Conditions Code, the OSH Code of 2020, DGFASLI is actually renamed as the Directorate General of Occupational Safety and Health. What makes this a highly probable current affairs target for the examiners is that the rules for this OSH Code were notified just last month, and DGFASLI is the very body responsible for helping implement these safety codes. But guys, here's where the governance failure becomes just glaringly obvious. The whole problem starts with how we even collect safety data. Every year, the Standard Reference Notes, or SRNs, record industrial accidents, and they do this in 2 separate sections.
Yes, and listen, this is the absolute crux of the issue. One section has data compiled by the Labor Bureau. The other section, well, that comes from DGFASLI's own correspondence with the Chief Inspectors of Factories. So what's the catch? These 2 sets of official data literally never match. We're talking incredibly wide variations. And this discrepancy points directly to massive systemic lapses in reporting.
And when we really analyze the roots of this problem, it becomes completely clear why the data is so fractured. Think about this. The measures taken after the June 8th plant explosion were the exact same measures taken after the last major accident at that very same plant, way back in 2014. Literally a full decade later, and the preventative mechanisms are still completely hollow. The reports clearly show DGFASLI is fundamentally struggling with capacity. I mean, you simply cannot enforce the OSH Code or accurately compile standard reference notes if the institution itself is running on empty. So, when you're structuring your mains answers, you need to hit the examiner with these specific structural bottlenecks. First up, we've got heavy, crippling vacancies within DGFASLI itself. Second, the entire country is facing a severe shortage of factory inspectors. And don't make the mistake of thinking this is just in poorer regions. The data shows massive deficits even in highly industrialized states like Tamil Nadu. Because of this, only a tiny fraction of factories are actually inspected each year. On top of that, many states are just straight up failing to report the required details to the center. It is a complete and utter breakdown of cooperative data sharing. All right, so we've laid out the syllabus connections, the glaring data discrepancies, and the structural failures. But remember, UPSC is ultimately testing your capability as an administrator. So we want to leave you with a highly probable personality test question to really ponder over.
Exactly. Put yourself in this scenario. As a district magistrate in an industrial hub, how would you ensure compliance with safety protocols when the central and state data apparatus is fractured? You can't just tell the interview panel you'll sit around and wait for DGFSLI to fill its vacancies, right? You have to think practically about local intelligence, leveraging district labor officers, and maybe even community audits. So think that over, structure your answer, and keep preparing hard. Thank you for joining this explainer, aspirants. We'll see you in the next one.